HTTV with Illingworth and Gregory. Frankie, how have you assessed the Premier League Cup for the Under-23s so far?
It's been a good tournament for us. Obviously, we had a quite successful run last season, get to the semi-final. It's a different format this year, a group of mini leagues, which the top two qualify. So we're currently lying second in the league and need to beat Ipswich. So ultimately, it's become a knockout game. But it's been very good, and we've had some good competition, with Liverpool and West Brom, obviously in our league and in Ipswich also. The games have been tough, intense. We've played against some really good players. We've been on the wrong end of some heavy defeats, but the performances have been really good, especially against Liverpool. And I know we got beat 3-0 at Tranmere and 6-2 at home at Curzon Ashton. But in terms of football, we played some really good stuff. It was just a few mistakes defensively that have cost us.
How have you found the structure changes? Do you think that benefits the players in the long term?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's obviously get more games, because we play home and away. And some of the games have been on, we've played at Portman Road. So that's always, nice for the young players to play at, major venues. But yeah, again, it's been a good tournament for this year, I feel.
Obviously, it's Ipswich this weekend. How important is that game, and what do you expect from them? Because obviously you beat them earlier in the year.
Yeah, again, they were a strong side at Portman Road. They played some season pros, about 6 or 7 that have been around their first team. And throughout the year, we've been quite young, and it's been good experience for the young players. Some have come in and done really well and have had a little dip. Some have carried on doing well. So in terms of their exposure, it's been very good.
The match will be played at Curzon Ashton. How have the youngsters found that? Is it almost like playing an away game for them?
I suppose it is, because we've had 3 games there, but it's on a stadium again, so I think they prefer playing at grounds rather than on the training ground, and again, all the experiences are good.
It's a better experience for them as well to play in stadiums with larger crowds than at a training ground, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, and hopefully they'll go on and play in front of near the John Smith Stadium, which is now attracting 20,000 odd, with the first team currently doing so well.
How have you seen them develop throughout the competition? Obviously, they've raised their game to play against the players that have played in first teams for Liverpool or Ipswich or West Brom.
Yeah, I think it's been difficult this year because we haven't really had a settled team. There's a lot of boys been going out on loan. There's a lot of young lads playing in the team, although we did have some young players last year. But predominantly we've been quite young throughout the year this year.
How do you think they have coped with those changes? Because obviously there's been a lot of people who've gone out on loan. A lot of the under-18s have come up as well.
Yeah, like I said, they've had a little bit of exposure. Some of them have done really well and continue to do well. Some have had little dips, which you find with young players. They're a little bit inconsistent in terms of performances, but that's part of their growing up.
And some of the scholars have just been promoted up to the under-23s. How have they settled in so far? I know some of them have obviously played under you at times this season, but they're with you permanently now, aren't they? Yeah,
they've just stepped up to the 23s now. They've still obviously got a long way to go. It's the first foot on the rung of the ladder, if you like. But they've got to keep on producing good performances and keep developing physically, mentally, tactically, throughout the coming year.
And by bringing them up to the under-23s now, I presume that's to make them push on more and get used to under-23s football, ready for the new season next year? Yeah,
I mean, to get used to the surroundings, to get used to me, the way I work, and to get used to each other, So it'll be a fresh team next year, and by the looks of it, another young one.
We mentioned earlier some of the players have gone out on loan this year. When they've come back off those loan spells, have you noticed anything particularly different about them or about their attitude or playing style?
Yeah, it's a difficult process at the loan system. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We've currently got a few boys out. Will Boyle went up to Kilmarnock and he's now playing for Cheltenham, on a contract. So that's done him, really well, in terms of his development. We've had boys go out and come back and have not done so well, and currently had boys, who are still striving to break into the respective first teams.
How do you assess who goes out on loan? Obviously, that's a decision made by ultimately Steve Weaver, but obviously you've got some input in that as well.
Yeah, it's a general consensus. You know, there's a lot of talking that goes on daily about the boys because some of them have been in 23s football for a long time, albeit that they're still young. You know, we feel it's their next step in their development.
Just finally, how have you seen the under-23 squad this year develop as a group, and obviously the players individually as well?
Yeah, like I said, it's been difficult because we've rotated and changed the team so much, but they've developed nicely. They've played some really attractive football along the way, and hopefully that'll stand them in good stead for next year.